What is up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Go for Launch podcast. My name is Liam P, and we are Zayden-less for this episode. If you did go check out his TikTok, which he plugged at the end of the last episode, and we'll probably be plugging that for most of the episodes following this, you will know that he is in New York currently. So, it's just me, just like old times, me rambling into a mic. And today, I'm not talking about high-power rocketry. I know, such a shock. I just really don't think it's really fair to talk about it without Zayden, because then it's a one-sided opinion. So, today, I'm just going to be rambling on about the aerospace industry. But, before you leave, I do need to front-load this about a few things about the channel. And some of them are sad. And some of them aren't going to be great for viewers. And honestly, they make me sad too. So, I have been filming everything I've been doing for the last 2.5 months on a single SD card. I had my Arcus build, which I'm going to use for my level 1. And I think that's the only thing I had on there, because it was a long build. Well, I maybe had a few things here and there. But yeah, so I had that all on a single SD card. And a member of my household that shall go unnamed deleted all the footage. So, we are missing 2.5 months worth of footage of building the Arcus. So there will be no build video on the Arcus. I am so very sorry about that. And my dog is barking in the background. I'm not sure if you guys could hear that, but my dog was barking in the background. That's Maverick the Rocket Dog. But yeah. So I'm very sorry about that, and I will find a workaround somehow. So yeah. Also, another thing before we get into the aerospace industry about high-power rocketry. As you know, me and Zayden are building a 4x upscale of the Apogee Avion. It is going to be the first Go for Launch crew, which is now our crew name. This is the Go for Launch podcast. We are the Go for Launch crew. It will be the first Go for Launch crew group project, and it is going to be flying either at Sod Blasters or the launch after, depending on this. This project is fairly expensive. So, if you would like to help fund this, because we are hoping to fly this at Airfest on a motor combination that I will not yet reveal. We are hoping to fly this at, sorry, I said Airfest before. I meant Sod Blasters, which is the same weekend as Airfest. We're hoping to fly it at Sod Blasters here at the Tri-Cities Rocketeers. We're hoping to fly it at Sod Blasters. And we need your help to help fund this. So if you would like to help fund us, there will be a donation link in the description. What I am currently thinking, I have to run some stuff by Zayden first, but what I am thinking is we will do, if you donate $5, you get a sticker on, if you donate $5, you get a shout out at the end of the video. The video where we fly it. If you donate $10, you get a sticker on the side of the rocket. If you donate $50, you get a sticker on a fin, a big sticker too, a sticker with your name, by the way. And if you donate, and maybe some t-shirts, I'm thinking maybe $10 you get a t-shirt instead of a sticker, because we don't want to decorate our rocket too much. I mean, we'd love to put your guys' names all over it, but, like, we'd like to keep it somewhat Avion looking. And if you donate, and if you help fund a motor, which will be either Let me think. It will be not that much, actually. Let me check. If you donate either $50, which will pay for the center motor, that will be, then you get your name on the flight card as a shout out. And if you donate $50, which will pay for a motor. So if you donate $50, then you get your name on the flight card as a shout out. You don't get your name on the flyer flight part. That's going to be me and Zayden. Sorry. But, so, that's all the channel stuff. The donation link for that will be in the description if you want to help support. And merch for that will be out soon. Oh yeah, also go to Pendergast Orbitals, which the app, which will be in the description, if you want to buy some merch. I'll probably have some merch out soon. Probably go for launch crew merch first. Anyway, let's talk about Starship. As you know, Starship Flight 10 is as some of you probably know, Starship Flight 10 is coming up. I am super hyped for it, and I may even do a live stream. Probably not, though, because I'd rather watch Tim stream than stream on YouTube. Sorry, guys. I love you, but I don't love you that much. So, yeah, I probably won't stream, but I'll be watching the stream. So if you want to see me, where I probably will be, then go over to Everyday Astronaut's channel and watch his live stream of it, if he does one, which he probably, like, 99.98% will. And look for me in the chat. I'm Liam the Rocket Nerd. I know, funny name. Yeah, I'm super stoked for Flight 10. As most of you who are familiar with Starship also probably know, that Ship 36 blew up, before testing, or during testing before flight. So what they currently think, I'm not terminally online, so I know that it exploded, and I know that they faulted it. Like, I'm not on X, is what I mean. Like, I'm not on the social medias all the time. Like, I'm on YouTube, I'm posting, but, like, other than that, I'm not on any social media, so I don't really know, any, like, constant, like, real-time updates from, like, Elon Musk or SpaceX. So, let me check a little app called Next Spaceflight, which is NSF, which is something done by NASA Spaceflight. It's a really cool app. I suggest getting it on your phone, like I have it on my phone. Really helpful, helps me keep track of everything. And they even have a Starship tab, just like dedicated Starship. Let's see, S36, there it is. Yeah, exploded. Yeah, you knew that, and I knew that. But yeah, current initial analysis indicates that it was a COPV in the nose cone that exploded under pressure, but below where it should have exploded. So it underperformed and exploded in a full Starship upper stage, which is not exactly ideal. But to make matters worse, it did it on a test stand, and it damaged Massey's pretty good. They have Ship 38 there currently, and it actually just did a cryo test today, I believe. Yes, just did a cryo test today, and first vehicle to be tested at Massey's since S36 exploded rather violently, and threw shrapnel everywhere. So that was exciting and very bad. So Starship's definitely become more of a rough road. Like after Flight 1, I was like, oh man, this is gonna be an uphill battle. And then IFT2 didn't get to didn't get onto its intended trajectory. And then I was like, okay, better. And it was very, very linear. Like, better, like, every time they were doing better than the last time. In Flight 5 and Flight 6, like, they had to land the booster offshore, but, like, they still did some milestones that Flight 5 didn't do. Actually, I think Flight 6, I didn't watch Flight 6 that much. I think I just watched the launch, and I didn't see anything else. I knew it made it to reentry, but, like, you know, Flight 6 was not, it was, like, on the same par as Flight 5, except they didn't catch the booster. And then Flight 7 comes, first Block 2 ship, and Block 2 explodes. And I was like, oh, shoot. what went wrong. And then I was like, okay, it's IFT8. They probably solved whatever happened on Block 2. I'm feeling very good. I'm up. I'm ready to watch. I'm watching, and they catch the booster, and then they lose a raptor. They lose a rack vac. Just straight up falls off. Yeah, that was shocking. Like, me, and, like, I feel like, I know Tim was, because, like, I was watching his stream, and he said it after SpaceX concluded the live stream, like, me and him were both very, very sure that they would have solved whatever the problem was, from, Flight 7, and between Flight 7 and Flight 8. They did. They solved what the problem was on Flight 7. But Flight 8 has a new problem now. And then Flight 9, I didn't watch that much of either. I know that Booster 14 didn't make its landing, but, like, they were pushing it. Like, they pretty much wanted to blow that booster up because, like, they wanted it to come down, and they were, like, pushing it to the extremes. They were like, where are the boundaries? And if you push something hard enough, you're gonna find the boundaries eventually. And they did. Booster 14 did explode before it hit the ocean, so. Actually, it did light its engines, but, like, I don't know what happened there, so. And not all the engines came up to pressure. So, then after that, I need to go rewatch Tim's stream, because I haven't seen too much of it. So, yeah, I can't really talk with a lot of confidence what happens after that. So, yeah, Starship's on a rocky road right now. Ship 37 is currently, it was exposed to static fire today, but unless they do it at 7 o'clock at night, I don't think that's going to happen today. But they're static firing it on the actual OLM at Pad 1, which, if you know how rockets work, that shouldn't feasibly be possible because the booster is different than the ship. You can't just put the ship where the booster goes because the clamps that hold down the booster aren't there on the ship. So, how did they do this? They took the ship transport stand. You know, the thing they roll the ships around on? They took that, and they did a bit of modification, and they clamped it in using the booster clamps. SpaceX is the company version of MacGyver at this point. So they MacGyvered this little thing in, and they just can sit a ship on there, and now they can static fire a ship on the OLM. This is gonna be awesome. Plus, we can finally, actually, I do wonder, will they use, because they obviously can't lose the OLM. If we blow up Ship 37 on the OLM, then we have a major problem. Worse than Flight 1. Depending on how bad the damage is. Like, if we, like, blow the ring apart, I think at that point they're just gonna wait for Pad 2 to be done. But hopefully Ship 37 does not explode. Hopefully the static fire goes fine, if they do one. And here's why. Obviously, they don't want to risk OLM, because if OLM blows up, then we've got a problem. So, they could just do a wet dress rehearsal, or not a wet dress rehearsal. They could just do a cryo test. Just fill it up with LOX and methane, or nitrogen, if they wanted to. Fill it up, and then spin prime the Raptors, detank. Pretty much, Ship 36 exploded before it ignited its Raptors. So not really negating the problem, but it's less likely that one of the engines could rud and then the ship could rud. So it does eliminate that part, but I'm not sure. I think they probably will go for a static fire, in which case I'm not sure. I don't think they would need to turn on the blast deflector. They probably will, though. Actually, they probably would need to, because they probably would need to, and they most likely will turn on the blast deflector, because it's still 3 Rap Vacs and 3 Raptors, which is obviously nothing like 33 Raptor engines. but it's still some flames, and I'm guessing that the flames are still pretty hot when they touch. I'm not guessing. I know for a fact that they are probably very, very hot still when they touch the steel underneath them. So yeah, they're going to turn on the blast deflector if they do a static fire. What will it look like, though? Because it's not going to be the big, like, cloud of steam. It'll still be a cloud of steam, but it's not going to be like the, just the big, massive cloud of steam that you see getting pushed out over everything when a booster static fires or launches. So, definitely some firsts, and definitely some question marks about the ship static fire. But other than that, I don't think I can talk. There's not much more to talk about Starship-wise other than the future of Starship. But like everyone knows that Elon Musk and SpaceX want to get Starship to Mars. That's the whole reason for it existing. Gilmore Space launched. Actually, they attempted to launch, I should say. It's the first homegrown Australian rocket to actually no that. Yeah, that's right, because Electron is New Zealand. For some reason, I thought Electron was in Australia for a second. Technically, yes, but, like, no, it's totally different. It's a different country. So, Gilmore Space was flying its Ares rocket, I believe. Let me fact check this. I believe it's Ares. Yes, Ares. The Ares hybrid rocket. Hybrids are trash, by the way. Don't use hybrids. It's the Ares rocket, which is flown by Gilmore Space. It has 4 hybrid rockets on its first stage. It has a single hybrid rocket on its second stage, and it has a LOX kerosene or Keralox third stage that does like the final maneuvers to get into orbit. Orbit is circularization burn and such. I don't actually keep up too much with Gilmore Space, so I don't know actually, like, if they're just doing a circularization burn or if the third stage is actually what puts them into orbit. I'm not sure about that. But yeah, they flew and they crashed. I've seen the footage and it looks like they lost an engine. Well, they did lose an engine on takeoff. Why they lost an engine, I'm not sure. Scott Manley actually has a great video, so I would go check that out. He actually does like amazing anomaly reviews after a flight goes down, so definitely go check him. He had like the IFT-7 anomaly investigation up like the next day, or actually I think he had it up later that night. So it was awesome. So yeah, definitely go check out Scott Manley and everything he does. And go check out he does a lot more speculation around what probably happened, and he probably has better guesses than me, honestly. So definitely go check out his video. But they lost an engine on takeoff like a second or so after. Goes up a few more feet, probably a few hundred feet. It's a big rocket. Not that big, though. And then loses another engine, and it just falls, and just coasts over to the side. Falls over. You would expect this is the point where it goes boom, and just you get a massive boom. But it is not. It just kind of falls over and goes, and you see a little fire start on the ground. It's underwhelming. So it's just because of the hybrid architecture of the first 2 stages. There's not really any big boom. It just kind of falls over and that's that. Unlike the Delta II, where just when it had its failure, it looked like a firework. It looked like you had just had a canister shell go off. Upside down, too. Just, boom! Just this massive flower, and then burning propellant everywhere. In the parking lot, it hit cars, burned cars. It was chaos. And my friend Braden Carlson just has probably the best commentation of it in the Space for Improvement podcast. Him and Joe did it for 9 episodes. Bring it back, please. It was a good podcast. But currently it's on permanent hiatus. So if you guys would please bring that back, it would be awesome. It would be awesome. So please bring it back. I'm not sure if my soundboard's working. So yes, please bring Space for Improvement back, Brayden and Joe. Thank you. But he said, and it is honestly pretty funny if you watch the video. The launch commentator is just like, we have had an anomaly. That was actually pretty good of what Brayden did. And just like, yeah, we've had an anomaly. I probably would have been like, everyone run for your lives. This is Armageddon. It's like those high power launches where you just go there and like one of the guys at the Balls in Tripoli Girl Lock, their launch, the Balls launch, he was just like, yes, it looks like something may have gone wrong. And there was just a 10-inch R motor, I believe it was, just doing cartwheels in the sky. Yeah, it sounds like I'm going to be going to Balls this year. And if you watch the Big Things Coming episode, which you should go watch, I'll link it in the description. I'm planning on flying a submin. It's so stupid. A submin is sub-minimum diameter, which means the diameter should be smaller than the minimum diameter, which the minimum diameter would be the rocket motor case. So, sub-minimum would be like if I took a K455 and I put a 38mm tube on top of it. That's sub-minimum. Not taking a K455 and then flying that. That is a flying case. That's a flying case, not a sub-minimum diameter rocket. Of course, also, like, minimum diameter isn't really minimum diameter. It's, like, minimum inside diameter. But that's better than sub-minimum diameter. So, it's a whole thing. Definitely, so, I'm flying a flying case L1000 at Balls, probably. Maybe. I'm not making any promises, but I'm going to try and make my best effort to fly an L1000 flying case at Balls, which should be pretty gnarly. It's like Mach 3 G loading. I don't have it off the top of my head, but it's like 6 kilometers. It's pretty gnarly flight. I'm also flying what is it? It's a K something. I think it's a K2050 or K250. It's not the DMS long burn K. It's the reloadable. And so let me pull it up. I'm going to try and fly a minimum diameter. I'm going to try and fly a minimum diameter K2050. Yep, that's it. I'm going to try and fly a minimum diameter K2050 to 20,000 feet and Mach 1.6. Sorry, I just had to pull up the open rocket to look at that. Yeah, I'm going to try and fly a K2050 to Mach 1.6, also at Balls. Maybe. Kind of a bit, because it also sounds like I'm also talking with Bryce Chanis about doing the hamster dance competition. But I still have to talk to him about that, so that's probably the first thing that would get dropped if I dropped anything. And then probably that L1000, because that is ambitious. So, I'm not going to say anything more about the hamster dance, because that's currently that's currently in the drawing board of the drawing board. So, yeah. So yeah, it sounds like I might be going to balls and flying a few crazy things. I also might be going to Midwest Power. And that's all that I'm going to say about that until the person that I'm doing something with until the person that I am doing something with may come onto this podcast to talk about what we are doing at this random launch that I just mentioned. I'm not going to say anything until he maybe comes on or a video comes out. So, the lips are sealed on that one. Also, at Solid Blaster this year, I'm doing my L1 on my 3-inch Arcus, and we also may fly the 4-inch Avion on a cluster of a central 38 and 4 outboard 29s or 24s. So, try and find out what motors we might be putting in there. Also, go help fund it if you want to. Link is in the description. And while I'm at it, you might as well go check out patreon.com/pendergastorbitals and help fund all my crazy stuff like the Space Shot and Project Vulcan, which is still happening. I'm going to talk about this for a minute now. Project Vulcan is still happening. I'm going to get an M5800 and I'm going to get an M2020, and we are going to send that thing to Mach 3 and 250,000 something feet. It's going to happen, and we're going to launch it into the Perseids. Mark my words, and it will happen at some point. But that would kill me if I just have an M5800 sitting around for like 4 years while I look for an M2020. But allegedly, it sounds like CTI may be coming back into full swing hobby production, which would be nice because I'd like to get my hands on a few M5800 hundreds and an M2020. But that's like a few $1,000s in hardware and motors, so definitely go check out patreon.com/pendergastorbitals so I can afford to blow all my money on the rocket killer motors. Anyway, what else do I have to talk about channel-wise, high-power rocket-wise, or aerospace industry-wise? See, this is why I don't do single-person podcasts anymore, because I just rant. I'm just going to rant for the next probably another 15 to 20 minutes. How about I talk about SLS? Yeah, so I watched Artemis 1 I watched it on Tim's stream, and that was already a while ago. That was, 2 or 3 years ago? Yeah, it was a while ago. So, do I think we will see another launch of SLS? Yes. Do I think it will do what NASA thought in 2018, where it's going to fly till 10, Artemis 15, Artemis 30? Absolutely not. I think we're going to make it to Artemis 4 or 5, and then it's going to get canceled. And hopefully by then we have Starship and other things to take us to the moon. But I do think we're going to see... I don't think you're going to see men go back to the moon on Artemis and on SLS and on Starship. I think we're going to see the Artemis program play out for a while. But I don't think it's going to last as long as NASA thought it would. I think the Artemis program is going to stick around. I don't think that SLS and Orion are going to stick around as long as they thought they would. Which is unfortunate because SLS is a pretty cool rocket, but it's also just so old school. It's solid motors and RS-25s. Now we have full flow stage combustion Raptor engines running on methane, powering a 400-foot monstrosity, the heaviest, the biggest non-air, heavier than air vehicle, and probably the heaviest vehicle ever to fly, honestly. I don't know the exact numbers, but it's 5,000 tons. So, it's heavy, it's big, and it's awesome. And I think that Starship should replace SLS in due time. But, let's see, what else can I talk about on the channel? I think I'm going to start on a Fat Boy, and it's going to have a 29mm motor mount. And the name is going to be hilarious. I'm not going to reveal it on here. I'll talk about it on the on the video when that comes out. Also, if you made it this far, and you're probably pretty committed to this channel and this podcast because you've gone through, 3 or 4 rants. I also think that I'm going to switch away from the way I've been doing it. Because I only have 58 subscribers. I'm pushing 60. But, that's so few subscribers. Real quick, side tangent, real quick. I am going to be giving away a 2.6-inch Iris with a 38mm motor mount if we can get to 1,000 subscribers. So, if we get to 1,000 subscribers, then we'll have a caption contest, so it's not a lottery, it is 100% legal. We will have a caption contest at 1,000 subscribers, and I will be giving away a 2.6-inch Iris with the 38mm mount. So you can fly it on H's, I's, J's. Actually, I don't know, but I think you can fit, I'm pretty sure you can fly a H and an I and a J. G's, you can fly G through I in there, without adapting down. So then you'd fly F. You could probably fit an F in there, or it's probably light enough to fly on an F. I don't know. I haven't looked at the numbers, but I know Irises are good rockets, and they're starting to get a lot more love. So 2.6-inch Iris. If you get us to 1,000 subscribers, so subscribe. Tell your friends to subscribe. Get us to 1,000 subscribers, and then we'll get. I don't know. You guys will get something. Someone will get a 2.6-inch Iris. So, try and get us to 1,000 subs, please. But since we're currently at 60 subscribers, 58. Since we're only at 58 subscribers, I'm going to move towards Joe's No Effort November style and Braden's style. Braden Carlson's over at Rocket Vlogs. Go check out his channel if you want to see a preview of what style videos I'm going to be moving to. I just feel like it's not really worth my time right now to be I spend 50 hours on each video right now, between editing, scripting, and music making and all that. I spend way too long for the amount of money, which is none, that I'm getting. I'm paying to entertain you guys. So, unless you guys get us to 1,000 subscribers and get me millions of watch hours, speaking of which, I'm going to start posting some shorts. Unless you can get me to, 100,000 subscribers. Honestly, 700,000 is probably the point where I'm kidding. If you guys can get me to 100,000, I'll switch back to this, my current scripted, beautiful, everything scripted, blah, 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 video style. But for now, I'm going to switch it back over. I'm going to switch over to more of, me rambling into a mic, I'll cut footage, and I'll ramble into it. I'll put some lo-fi, I'll put some music of mine, over times when I'm not talking, and we're going to do some more vlogs, such, just until I get to, say, 100,000 subs, when I start making a little bit more money, and then I'll go back to the scripted, and if we hit $600 on Patreon, actually no, if we hit $200 of money being made on Patreon, I'll switch it back to the scripted videos too, because then I kind of feel like I owe it to you guys. So if we hit either 100,000 subscribers on the channel or $200 being made on Patreon, I'll switch it back to scripted. But for now, we're doing vlogs and Patreon 2-week updates, kind of. A little more fancy. It'll be a lot more informal. Yeah, you'll be informed of a lot more. I don't know. I'm not a writer, okay? So, yeah, and we're currently at 34 minutes and 40 seconds. So I think I'm going to stop rambling, and I'm just going to plug it up, and then you guys can wait for this to come out. Also, sorry about the gap, because I was off on vacation for a week, actually almost 2, and I didn't get some stuff done, so there was like a 2-week gap in the podcast, and I'm pretty sure some of you were having flashbacks to the like 5 or 6 week gap in between episodes 4 and 5. So don't worry, that's not happening again. We're gonna get these out every week for a while, and don't worry, the podcast is gonna come out much more consistent. So don't worry. But my name is Liam P. You can find me on Pendergast Orbitals at youtube.com. You can also find me at Pendergast Orbitals on Patreon. Definitely go subscribe to Patreon. And you can also find me on... Actually, you can't find me anywhere else. So, yeah, Pendergast Orbitals on YouTube and patreon.com/Pendergast Orbitals. That is it for me. Zayden's not here. I am one person from the Go for Launch crew, and we will see you all next time. Pressurizing, hear the roar. Skyward journeys we adore. Fire it up, can't stay down here. Gravity's grip disappears. Hold on tight, the path is clear. On this ride we've no fear. Hands are shaking, hearts they pound. Through the void we're outbound. Lost in space, new worlds around. Finding life where none was found. Launchpad dreams and endless flight. Streak of fire cuts through the night. All of us chasing the light. Building rockets, it feels so right. Smoke and flame take us fast. Into future, leaving past. One thing clear to all at last. It's the Go for Launch podcast. Hands are shaking, hearts they pound. Through the void we're outbound. Lost in space, new worlds around. Finding life where none was found. Hands are shaking, hearts they pound. Through the void we're outbound. Lost in space, new worlds around. Finding life where none was found. Launchpad dreams and endless flight. Streak of fire cuts through the night. All of us chasing the light. Building rockets, it feels so right. Smoke and flame take us fast. Into future, leaving past. One thing clear to all at last. It's the Go for Launch podcast.